Sorry, battery died. So I don't know how long that clip was, but let's start on a new day with a new clip and finish that story. So the James boys and the gang of friends decided that they were going to plot a revenge against the Pinkerton Railroad for burning down the house. In the meantime, and I may have these events backwards, I believe they killed the mom and burnt the house down, and that may have all happened in the same time. So anyhow, the boys plotted against the one company that destroyed their family, that destroyed their house, that basically was trying to take their land. And the boys profited a bit. The boys had a plan to get even with the Pinkerton Railroad coming across Missouri. So they went out and they robbed Pinkerton stagecoaches. They held up Pinkerton's banks where their money to pay their employees was being held. They didn't hurt anybody. They didn't, sure, they shot a couple people that tried to stop them from robbing the stagecoach or robbing the bank. Just as I would do today. Somebody trying to rob the bank and I got a gun on me. Probably gonna shoot you. In the fear of my life, for one. But anyhow. That's all they did. They were a band of brothers. And by brothers, I mean friends. And they plotted a revenge against one company, the Pinkerton Railroad, who burnt their house, tried to steal their property. That's it. They didn't rob me at the bank. They didn't rob you at the bank. They were out to rob the Pinkerton Company. Now, as far as them giving money back to the people for safe harboring or just giving people money in general, that's hearsay here or there. There's no proof. So, oh, wow, what is that? What'd you stumble across, girl? Probably a stolen bike? Probably. Probably. Being up here in the middle of the woods, it's probably a stolen bike. Anyhow, that's how they did. Now look how that's all tore up. I wouldn't say it's really tore up as much as it's just laid flat. Don't look like hogs. Anyhow, so when you learned that Ford shot Jesse in the back of the head, hanging a picture, straightening a picture in his house, more than likely that's a lie. Because they've dug up that body that's buried in that plot, and there's no DNA reference to the rest of the family that lives today in, I believe, Oklahoma. No DNA. None. Now, the funny thing about that is, it doesn't surprise me, because by then I believe the Civil War was over, so, and that, I believe, is the beginning of being brainwashed, for the most part, has started. They, in return, okay, so 3 days before Jesse James was shot in the back of the head, he took a family photo. Jesse was always clean shaven. 3 days before that, in the family photo, he was clean shaven with his wife and 2 kids. In the photos that you see in history books and archives, when Jesse was propped up in the streets, he had a full beard. This person, whoever he was, had a full beard, and I mean full beard. Wasn't Jesse. Anyhow, let's see if the light works. It may not work because it might be full of sand. Yep, it works. I find lighters out in the middle of the woods. That's crazy. Anyhow, 3 days after he was shot, his wife and 2 kids moved to New York City. Why? 6 months after that, Frank James turned himself into authorities and went into the state penitentiary in New York City, or New York area, wherever the prison was at that time, which I think was probably addressed New York City. I'm sure. Find that all funny. Why would a woman who's from the Kansas City area move to New York City? Why would Frank, now granted back then it might have been the only prison that harbored hardcore criminals, was New York City. Would Frank be imprisoned in New York City? I can kind of gather that concept. But why her? Why did she leave her entire family to go to New York? That to me is just crazy. Now I know where I'm at. There's the other play area. There's a big old puddle. Wow, we came in way opposite direction. Anyhow, so that's the history, and you've been brainwashed in believing that he was an outlaw and a criminal and a hardcore, just, bad guy. He didn't hurt anybody. Jesse himself only shot 1 person and killed them. 1 person. An innocent bystander other than the Pinkerton people who started the crap to begin with. So, reap what you sow, as they say. But that's your history lesson for today. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm going to go back and field test what I need to do, and we will catch you after that. Because now I think I went through like 4 batteries.